Hey, what's up guys? I'm doing a kind of a in-depth explanation on the Horse Eldrazi 5-color deck. So yeah, wanted to do a full in-depth video over this. Like I kind of explained in one of the previous videos where I said I was going to do a full explanation. So this is the commander for the deck. So let me start off with this first. So, Blessing Sanctuary. Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, like, why is that in here? Well, I'll show you. So, as you guys can obviously see in the text, prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you, or creatures you control. So, both Mana Vault and Mana Crypt, you take damage from. And so, Blessed Sanctuary essentially blocks that damage, meaning that you don't take anything. So, you can just make mana for free, off the Mana Crypt, but you still have to pay 3 and untap the Mana Vault, though. So, but that's essentially why Blessed Sanctuary is in here. So, yeah. Let me zoom back in. There we go. So the next thing I want to show you guys is the Wholebreaker Horror. Which there's an infinite loop with that in here. So for anybody that doesn't know what Wholebreaker Horror does, basically where you cast a spell, you can return a permanent that your opponent controls to the hand, or a permanent that you control to the hand. So essentially what you do is these are both cost 0, and so you just kind of play one, tap it, make the mana, and then play the other one, bounces to your hand, and then you just kind of infinite loop and make infinite mana and such and such. So that's essentially how that works, and that's in the deck too. And then now for the rest of the stuff. I just wanted to get that kind of out of the way so I guys can kind of see some of the cool things that are in the deck. So, Manifold Key, untap a artifact by paying 1. Soaring Jolos, which I had just gotten over the weekend. So, Commander Sphere, Permanent Lantern, Dark Ritual, Basalt Monolith, and then Arcane Signet. So there's that, and then there's more. These are the land searches. So Farseek, or land searches plus like doubling mana and stuff like that. So Mari's Wake, this. So creatures you control have tap, add 1 color, any color to your mana pool. So that's actually really good as well. So they essentially become a sliver, or mana sliver, basically, with this. So Bootlegger Stash, lands you control have tap, create a treasure token. Explorer, you can play additional land, then you draw a card. Leyline, so basically your lands become basically any color with this on the field. And if you open with it, then you automatically start with it on the field, or you can anyway. So, and then land tax. So that's that stuff. And then there's one other card that makes treasure tokens, and that's Smothering Tide. So that's essentially it for kind of the big stuff, for the most part. So now I'll just show you guys the rest of the deck. So Defense of the Heart, got this over the weekend as well. So so this is basically Search Mirror, which I had the real copies of the cards with me. And I do it for every tournament, or where I play in for Commander. So I always have the real copies with me so I can show people what the actual card does. So and then Aragorn, this is the scroll showcase art. It's not foil, but it's the scroll one from the Christmas thing. And yes, I did put colored lands back in here. So the reason why I was testing the Wastelands with the Shocklands is that I was hoping that I could use the Wastelands just to kind of be the colorless mana, but I was relying too much on that, so I decided to go back to what was working, which was playing the colored lands in here. So Wildcard Tower, most of the stuff that you guys have already pretty much seen from the rough draft video. So Almost Perfect. This card's actually pretty fun. You can put it onto a Crested Summer and make a 9/10 that has Indestructible. So yeah, it's really fun. Or put it on anything else and just make it a 9/10 Indestructible. So Bild Pony, Mana Drain, Joda. So he's in here mainly for helping me cast the Eldrazi stuff cheaper, because that's a bill 10 mana and I can cast it for 5. So yeah, I was realizing that I was like, oh, I can just throw that in here and just cast it for 5 instead of the 10. So Flatline. So I explained this in the last video a little bit. That you can use Flatline in combination with Plague Mare and just watch the board completely, because that makes all your opponent's creatures a 0/1. And when Plague Mare enters the battlefield, each creature or creatures your opponent controls get -1/-1 to end turn. So it's essentially just a board wipe. It's 2 cards though, but it's essentially a board wipe. So in combination with a horse. So yeah, it's really quite hilarious. I have not gotten to do it yet, but it's pretty funny though. So Trumps the Hordes. Yeah, I put this back in. It's one that I switch in and out every so often, so, but it's pretty fun though. Gives your creatures Infect and Trample. Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. So it's not bad. It's pretty good. And this one, let me zoom in a little bit more so I guys can see it clearer. There we go. So choose 2 colors. Each spell you cast costs 1 less to cast for each of the chosen colors it is. So you can go red and green, red and white, or any variation that you want to. So it's pretty good. Triome, Demonic Tutor. So I was planning on trying to sell this, but the vendor that I went to Saturday didn't really pick this out. So I decided to, put it back in. So, Cryptic Gateway. So you tap 2 untapped creatures, and then you put one onto the field with a similar typing. So if there's 2 horses that they tap, then you enter a horse or human, or whatever the case may be. So yeah. Rising Day. Creatures you control have haste, and then legendary creatures get +1, +0. So Breeding Pool, Command Tower, Wren and Whelmbreaker. This is mainly just for the first continuous effect. Lands you control have tap, add 1 of any color, so that's mainly why that's in there. Water Graves, Plains, Marshall's Anthem. So this can be really stupid with the infinite mana loop. You can pay 4 and then pay 2 for each card or creature in the grave, and just put it back onto a battlefield. So yeah. And the other thing that someone else had pointed out is that I could essentially just deck my opponent out for 4, 3 in the blue. Target player draws a card. So I could essentially just deck my opponent out by making them draw, 60, 70 cards, and then I pass my turn and, someone decks out. So yeah, it's not a way that I want to win. I will say I don't really want to do that, but if it comes down to it, then I will. But that's the last thing that I want to do to someone, is make them deck out that way. But because I'm not that kind of player. I know someone else would be, but I'm not. So True Conviction, just good card. I only really want to deck someone else out if I absolutely have to. So, but like I said, I don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna try my hardest not to do that to someone. So, and then that's a real version of the Diamond Mare. So yes, I messed up on the creature part. Yes, I know. That's why I had the real one with me. So, and then Coslet. So I explained in one of the previous videos why I have the Eldrazi stuff in here, but I'll try to explain that again. So essentially why, or this theory behind the deck is, if you have an Eldrazi on the field and a horse, then you swing them as both. They have to sacrifice permanents that they control, and if they're sacrificing creatures, then you automatically get in for damage, or if they sacrifice lands, then they have to block and they still lose their creatures, depending on what power toughness is. So, but that's essentially the reason behind the Eldrazi's being in here, is that there's big dudes, and the Now Layer 4 is just devastating. So yeah. Authority to the Consoles, more lands, Sunquan. Yeah, that's another thing too, is if I make them unblockable, then they're automatically gonna get in, and it's gonna just hurt a lot. So yeah. Roaming Throne. If I call Eldrazi, then there's still one other one that triggers for, yeah, it'd be the Ulamog, the exile, or no, it'd be not that one. Yeah, it'd be this one. Right. Now, is there? Is there another one that I thought one exiled 20. I thought I had one of those in the deck. But either way, Rolling Throne's really good. And I can even call Horse and trigger Crest of Summer twice. So, and then having the Host. So, and then that's it for that portion, and then there's still more. So, Godless Shrine, Reflection of, I'm not even gonna pronounce that. Lajara is basically, I think, how it's pronounced, but. So you choose a creature type, and then when you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. So you basically make a token that's a copy of it, so. Choose Horse, and then you get to make a copy of all the horses. Except for the legendary ones. You only get to pick, or keep one in that situation, so. Reflecting Pool. So this card has actually won me took out someone basically. So I gave my commander Horsemanship, and they had essentially no, well, they had outs to it, but they just couldn't draw into it. And so I was just attacking someone with a big dude that had Horsemanship, and that was just essentially it. So it's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Mental Coat. This was another one that I tried to sell, and the vendor didn't take it, so I just put it back in here. So yeah. Curse of Summer. So obviously a staple. This is the Horsemanship card. So basically, whenever you do combat damage to an opponent, you get to draw a card. So that's essentially all that does. And then Udog. Okay, yeah, this is the one that does the exiles 20. So with the Roaming Throne, it'd be essentially 40. I believe, if I'm reading that correctly. So yeah. Punting Voyage. So what you can do with this is foretell it, and then you can cast it for the foretell cost, and then choose a creature type, return up to 2 creatures of that type from your grave, but if you foretell it, you return all of them. So if you cast it for the foretell cost, basically. So it's really kind of gross. Cathar's Crusade, Vimare, Steam Vents, Archon. So this is another way of making your opponent sacrifice stuff. So target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life, and you draw a card and gain 3 life. So yeah, it's just another gross card that is really, really good. So, Unclean Territory, Shared Animosity, Sword of Sinew and Steel. You may want to put this on Curse of Summer, so you're not getting killed by black or red spells, but there are also blue and kind of green too, so, or white and green, basically, so. Well rested, so enchant creature has where this creature becomes untapped, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, you gain 2 life, and then you draw a card. So it only triggers once each turn, so. More lands. So this is Armored Warhorse. So it's just essentially a vanilla creature. So, but I like this art better, so. But yeah, that's essentially what that is. So, more lands, Hall of Fountain, Cavern of Souls, more lands, Udog, So now there are 4, and then you destroy a target permanent or you cast a spell. So, yeah. Ancestor Dragon. So, the reason behind this card is where one or more creatures you control attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking creature, which also helps trigger Crest of Summer. So you basically gain life if you don't have life gain already up, and you get to make a horse token during the end phase. So yeah, that's the origin why I decided to try this in here, is because of Crest of Summer. So Man Confluence, Mount, and then Shadowfax. One of the main horses for the deck. So yeah, that's basically it for the deck list. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. So I've done a few test runs with this, and it's actually been a lot more better since I've added the color mana in here. Back to how it was before. But I think it's only just absolutely just disgusting with now, since I have Duelos, Mana Crypt, Mox Amber, and then the Defensive Heart. I think the deck is just going to be really, really gross. I won't know until I test, or until I actually play it, but this will probably be the official build I go with. There may be a situation where I take out a card and throw one more land in, but that may be the only change I make to this. So, but yeah, so thank you for watching, and yeah, I will catch y'all in the next video, I guess.